Romance of Three Kingdoms podcast. I have this idea from my lovely wife. Can you make your appearance, Ani? So, the Romance of Three Kingdoms is a 600-year-old classic Chinese novel, but it's based on the events that took place 1800 years ago in the Three Kingdoms era of ancient China. And it's an epic tale of human desire and passion. The Three Kingdoms officially began in year 220 AD. So that will make this year, 2020, the official 1800 years anniversary of the Three Kingdoms era. And I thought, what better way to commemorate than me to begin my Three Kingdoms Retold series on the Silk and Steel podcast. And to begin, I would like to apologize for my hair because I have not cut my hair in months. It's a Balinese tradition that husband... What happened to the feed? What happened to the feed? What happened?
I don't know.
Why is it like that?
Hold on. Never happened before.
Okay, go back. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so sorry about that. So as I was saying, it's a Balinese tradition that husband do not cut hair while the wife is pregnant. And as you can see, I haven't cut my hair in few months. Even though I did get a pass from my mother-in-law who said, I'm a foreigner, I don't have to follow the rules. But when in Bali, I like to do as a local. So I'm gonna let my hair grow out. Maybe I'll go the traditional Chinese way because in traditional China, men do not cut their hair because your body is considered a gift from your parents. You are not supposed to alter it in any way. So let's see, maybe I will grow my hair out and put in a man bun. We'll check back in a couple months. So let's get back to our story, which is the Romance of Three Kingdoms. So what I wanted to do is to retell the story of Three Kingdoms in modern English vernacular, because that's the way I experienced the story myself. Well, not in English, but in Chinese. I first learned about the Romance of Three Kingdoms through listening to professional Chinese storytellers on the radio. And that has been the traditional way, the common people in China to experience the story. In the old days, people would gather in tea shops to listen to professional storytellers while exchanging gossips. And I did that as a child when I went with my grandpa to old tea shop in Chongqing. Then we will, that's where my grandpa's friends will gather together. They will share gossip of the day, and we will all listen to the professional storyteller in the front telling the stories, the epic stories of this Romance of Three Kingdoms. And I wanted to bring that experience to the English-speaking audience. I had this idea initially because I was watching people playing the game Total War Three Kingdoms, and my wife Ani got interested, and she wanted me to tell the story to her, but in a way that's accessible, because there are different translations of Romance of Three Kingdoms online and in books in English, but the couple translation I found they try to preserve kind of like the old style Chinese, classic Chinese literary language. So it's very flowery and, including explanation for poems. But I wanted to make it even more accessible. I wanted to tell it in the way I consumed the story as a little kid. So before I begin, just a little more intro stuff. The Three Kingdoms story is so embedded in the Chinese and the greater East Asian culture that the story becomes a part of the culture itself, with many idioms and references back to the characters and events happen in the story. And the story itself is also grounded in the Chinese history and make a lot of reference to the Chinese historical events and characters. And I will do my best to make these accessible and to provide detailed explanations whenever needed. And for detailed chronological retelling of the Chinese history, please visit my History of China series on the Silk and Steel podcast. I started from the mythical times all the way down to Shah Dynasty. I'm going to do a recording on the Song Dynasty later today. But now, let's return to the Romance of Three Kingdoms. Let's travel back to the time of ancient China. In the world under heaven, empire long divided must unite. Long united must divide. This has been the way since the beginning of time. When the great flood threatened to swallow up the earth, Yu the Great rose up to unite the land and people, to tame the flood until the water receded and drained back into the ocean, so the land can be farmed again. When Yu passed away, his son seized the opportunity to lord over the people and establish the first dynasty, the Shah. The house of Shah ruled for 400 years, till its last ruler, a tyrant, lost the support of people and the heaven's mandate. Heaven bestowed favor and takes it away. Heaven now smiles upon the Lord Tang of Song, who rose up and overthrew the tyrant and the first dynasty. In Chinese, this is called 革命, change of heavenly mandate. The Song dynasty lasted 600 years, and the last ruler of Song is a bright young man, but grew up arrogant and cruel. He would think of creative ways to torture people. Heaven abandoned the house of Song and bestowed favor to the house of Zhou. King Wen and Wu rose up against the tyrant and killed him. Heaven's mandate changed hands again. The new Zhou dynasty weakened after 300 years of ruling. The power slipped from the Zhou kings. Noble families fought for power and supremacy. The land under heaven is again divided into many kingdoms. This was the spring and autumn period into which Confucius and Taoist master Lao Tzu and Zhuangzi were born into. After 300 years of fighting, 7 strongest kingdoms emerged to fight each other for supremacy. This is what's called the Warring States period. And after another 200 years of continuous fighting, the kingdom of Qin emerged victorious and conquered 6 other kingdoms. The king of Qin proclaimed himself the first emperor of all under heaven. He wanted to establish a dynasty that would last 10,000 years. But that's not to be. The Qin rule was harsh. People rebelled soon after his death. The land was again in chaos. The old 6 kingdoms rose again, and new kingdoms carved out. 2 rebels who ended the Qin dynasty now faced off against each other. Chu and Han kingdom fought for supremacy. Han won the war. The founder of Han Dynasty, the spring ancestor Liu Bang, rose from the ranks of common people. He raised the banner of rebellion when he and his men who were drafted to build the terracotta warrior tombs of the first emperor were late and thus faced death penalty. He conquered the Qing Dynasty capital and defeated fellow rebel Xiang Yu, who came from the old Chu noble family, and founded the Han Dynasty. The Han Dynasty would rule the land under heaven for 200 years, until the usurper Wang Mang took the throne from the house of Liu for 15 years. But Wang Mang's misrule caused chaos in the land, and rebellion again broke out. A man from distant branch of the imperial family, Liu Xiu, joined the rebellion, and he eventually led it. He restored the Han Dynasty, which continued to rule for another 200 years, until the days of Emperor Huan and Lin. At this point, land under heaven, China, is already old. It has already been 2,000 years since Yu the Great tamed the flood and his son establishing the first dynasty. The restored Han Dynasty enjoyed peace for 200 years, but the imperial decay has already begun. The last few generations of the Han emperors tend to die young. A series of young child emperors sat on the dragon throne, while their mothers, the empress dowagers, rule with the help of their brothers. And when the child emperor grows older, he had to take the power back from his mom and his maternal uncles. And to do this, he reached out to the people he knows the best, the people he knows he can trust, the people that he grew up with in the palace. And these are the eunuchs. Eunuchs usually came from very poor families who couldn't afford to keep them. So they sent them to court to be castrated to serve as eunuchs in the palace. They spent their whole lives navigating the court intrigues, acting as confidant and eyes and ears to people in the center of power, to the emperor, empress, empress dowager, concubines. This is how eunuchs gain power, through the power of their patrons. When Liu Xiu first restored the Han Dynasty from the usurper Wang Mang, he rallied his fellow landlords who rose against Wang Mang because they were against Wang Mang's reform to concentrate power in the hands of court and to break up large landholding. So the emperors of latter Han Dynasty had to share power with very powerful landed families to rule the empire. The landed gentry provided sons to staff the imperial bureaucracy. There were no imperial civil service exam back then. To be considered as a candidate for imperial government post, you have to be recommended to the court by other powerful families. In other words, you need guanxi, you need connection. And to check on the power of these imperial government officials and their powerful landed families, the emperor himself relied on eunuchs to gather dirty laundry on them. And for people who are not from one of these powerful landlord families, or have sons to be sent to palace to be castrated as eunuchs, still find ways to the center of power. Daughters from common family may find their way to the imperial harem. And if by chance, a slim chance, but if they do caught the emperor's eye, they would be able to elevate their whole family. A delicate balance started to emerge by the late Han Dynasty between three factions of the Han court. The officials from the noble family background, the Empress Dowager and her family, and eunuchs. But increasingly, the court eunuchs are gaining power at the expense of the other two factions. And they became the master of the empire. And this is a time when people on the streets heard the whispers. The blue sky is dying. The yellow sky must rise. The time is now. There will be great prosperity to the land all under heaven. The empire long united must divide. Thus began the story of three kingdoms. Thank you for joining my my live stream, and that is my introduction to the story of the Romance of Three Kingdoms. I didn't plan the stream to be extremely long. I just wanted to, get people's interest up a little bit. And in my next recording, if there's enough interest, I can make that a live stream as well. I would, start to get into the story proper of how the eunuchs would seize the power of the Han court and how the Yellow Turban Rebellion break out and to bring the downfall of the Han Dynasty. I hope people like this live stream, and this is a time maybe I can do a little bit of Q&A. If anybody have questions, go ahead and put in the comments so I can see. My lovely wife Ani is monitoring the comment section, so I can take this time to answer any questions you may have, or what you want to see or hear in my next episode. So.
Yeah, there's some people commenting on this already.
Okay, what's the comment? Any questions? How are the puppies? So right now Wudong is falling asleep on my lap, and actually, here Wudong, hello. Say hello to my audience. That's one of the two boys of Lychee, and you can see he got quite chunky in the past few days because his sisters all went to the hospital. We just got Susu back from the hospital. She's fine now, so thanks to all who donated. We still have two puppies, Mochi and Big Mac, in the hospital. They're doing better.
The vet just told me that Mochi getting worse.
Oh shit! Okay, we just got an update saying Mochi is conditioning is actually just deteriorated a little bit. We did lose Shiitake, so it's very unfortunate, and I hope they all get better. And again, thanks for everybody who donated. We actually didn't expect the puppies to be in hospital for this long. Originally, we thought they would be in for 3 days, but it's already been almost a week, and we're just glad we have Susu back now because Susu is recovered and back with her mom and brothers. Yeah.
Okay.
Any other questions?
Yes.
Any other non-puppy related
so
questions?
There's another one. How come Chinese the spot? How come Chinese diaspora in Asia call themselves?
Oh, why? So one of the question is why the Chinese diaspora call themselves Tang instead of Han people. Actually, that's not just the Chinese diaspora. Like, for most people in extreme southern China, like people in Guangdong, Fujian, we're talking about the Cantonese people in the south, and also the Hokkien people on the southeast coast. It's I think there are a couple of reasons for that, because obviously the Han moniker derived from Han Dynasty, right? But during the Han Dynasty time, even though there are settlements, Han settlements in deep South China, but there were kind of isolated settlements, like in places like Guangzhou, right? Much part of the land were still in the hands of indigenous people, and by Tang Dynasty, that's when all of southern China really fully synthesized. So by synthesized means like all people there now consider themselves Chinese. So Tang Dynasty for deep South China, that's when that happened. So it's a between Han Dynasty and Tang Dynasty, there's a a gap of about 1,000 years. So that's when like all of southern China became Chinese basically. Like the people start to identify themselves as Chinese. So that's my possible explanation why, for example, I know in Cantonese and some other southeastern Chinese languages, they identify China as Tangshan or the Tang Mountains, right? So yeah. Any other questions?
There's someone commenting.
No, that's the same.
Yeah, the same
Same
person.
question. Okay. I hope everyone enjoys this stream. Sorry, I was a little bit late in starting the stream. Just I was doing some last minute touch up on my script, and I have to. Can you post some pictures? Yes. So what I want to, it's harder to do post pictures on live stream. What I really wanted to show is kind of the historical map of China. It kind of helps with a visual aid.
Maybe we can print it out and show it on the
Yeah,
camera.
yeah. Maybe next time I'll print it out and then I hold it in front of the camera because I'm doing this right now on my phone, doing the live stream on my phone. So, I will teach you to use OBS. Okay, Xiang Yu said he will teach me how to use OBS. I don't even know what OBS is. As long as you don't have a Skype guest, it'll be much easier. Okay. If you stream through OBS, you can put on just an image on screen. Okay, I have no idea what the OBS is, so it'll be an education for me. I'm learning something new today. You feel free also to comment on the length of my episodes because I plan each episode to be maybe anywhere between 15 to 45 minutes. I think that's a good length. But if people want it longer, shorter, let me know. OBS is what all okay. Okay. Occidental bowel syndrome. Okay. Yeah, and I just I promise. Can you spell iCup? What's iCup? ICUP? I don't.
Is it another trap?
Yeah, I'm sure. That's a good length. Getting into it tonight, but okay for intro to be a little short. Okay, great. Great. Yeah. I thought it to be ICUP. So I wanted to just really do a quick rundown of kind of the Chinese history that happened before the Three Kingdoms to catch up on people. But for more detailed chronological retelling of the Chinese history from the very beginning. As I mentioned, I already have a History of China series on Silk and Steel podcast. I'm gonna do the Song Dynasty tonight. I'm gonna record it with Sun Feiyang, the Chinese translator of Chinese anime, Karl Marx anime. He translated from Chinese to English. You can find the Karl Marx anime on YouTube, and all the English translation come from Sun Feiyang. So he's actually he actually took class in East Asian studies in college in US. So and he's a fluent Chinese speaker. So we're gonna nerd out on the Song Dynasty tonight about oracle bones. Yes, I'm still in Bali. Yeah, I will post a link to my Silk and Steel podcast in the description when I upload it to YouTube, and and all the episodes. Right now I have about I think 3 or 4 episodes from like the very beginning of mythical China through to the Yu the Great taming the flood to the Xia Dynasty. And tonight we're gonna hash out the Song Dynasty. I'm gonna upload it, and then we can. I think I'll make it one long episode about Song Dynasty. Maybe hour and a half to talk about the oracle bones, the archaeological digs, how they match up with the historical record from 史记, the records of the grand historian Sima Qian. And then next week, hopefully, we'll get into Zhou Dynasty because that's when we have more historical written records and there's a lot more story to cover. So
No, 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 will not be Trump for sure.
yeah, well, I'm still taking suggestions on how to name my boy because my wife is 5 months pregnant. We just found out a couple of days ago it's gonna be a boy. So I wanted to have I wanted to have like a Chinese name for my boy that's also easy to pronounce for non-Chinese people. So you know, so yeah, so feel free to send in suggestion. I also wanted 2 syllable names. So somebody I know somebody suggested Kai. I also agree Kai is a good name and easy to pronounce, but I just don't want like single syllable Kai like Zakai, right? I prefer 2 syllable like Zakai something else. Like I would prefer like Zakai Xin, but Xin in Pinyin romanization system is spelled Xin, and I know people would not. Oh, Zakai Wen. Oh, that's a good one. Xiang Yu has come up with a good one. Kai Wen is a good one. Zakai Wen is a good one. Okay, I'll keep that in mind. Um, where did you? Oh, that's Kevin. Oh my God, I didn't even realize Kai Wen is a Chinese transliteration of Kevin. Oh God. Okay, I'll get back to the drawing boards. People send in your suggestions.
Yeah, so like give
And
Balinese name like
yeah, he will
Yeah.
definitely have a Balinese name because in Bali people name their kids by their birth order. So the firstborn will be Wayan, and because it's a boy, it will be a Yiwayan.
yeah,
Right?
Iwaya Noriputu.
Yeah. K2 is
Katun is for
is number 4.
We're
I don't
not
know.
going there. We're
I
not
don't-
going that way.
I don't know if we're gonna reach number 4. We're pretty sure we have Yikwayan, and we're pretty sure we're gonna have a second one, which would be Kadek or Made, but I don't know. I don't know if we're gonna go beyond that. So
What the
in 3. So anyway, so for I apologize for taking a long time to do the Three Kingdoms series.
Many things happen.
Because many things happened. I got married, like I got into an accident, but better late than never, right? So it's going to be. I'm pretty stoked. I'm pretty stoked to embark this journey. I was inspired because I read. I'm a fan of Walnerd, aka John Dolan. He wrote Walnerd's Iliad, which is a retelling of the Iliad but in modern English, which is very funny, very colloquial. And I wanted to do that for Three Kingdoms because, it really deserved that treatment. Because that's the way it was supposed to be told. It's supposed to be like told as a funny, entertaining story, not too kind of stale and so I know somebody suggested Shakespeare in English, but that's what I'm trying to move away from. I'm trying to move away from more accessible, more colloquial language. Anyway, thanks for everyone who tuned in. We're almost coming up to a half hour of the live stream. Anybody? I'll take a question answer for another minute. If anyone have anything for next minute. If not, you can just look at my puppies. You can just look at Uda. I have to hold him close because he's
He
dark.
looks like a beer.
Yeah, he's dark, so you have to get more light to look at him. Okay, Udang, say hello to everyone. He's falling asleep. He's tired.
Okay.
Yeah, I saw. Thank you, Eric. How does it feel to be an absolute chat? I don't know. I don't know if I'm an absolute chat. Look at me. I have this crazy hair right now. I'm gonna be an absolute dad though. I'm pretty stoked to embark on this new journey to be a dad, to be a father. Do you think television will invite you back on again? I don't know. We'll see. I've actually they have, as far as I know, the Sky News haven't uploaded that clip on their YouTube. I really wanted to upload it, but I don't want it to get a copyright strike. So what I want to do is maybe I will talk about it. Maybe after this, I will make another video where I talk about my appearance on Sky News to talk about the China-Australia relations and that's ridiculous fight over the Chinese artist cartoon. And then I will play the clip as a reference. Maybe that's how I will get around the YouTube copyright issue. So it's 30 minutes now. Next time, I think I will make the stream a little bit. I will make it a little bit longer. I will make it 30 minutes of the actual storytelling, or at least 25 minutes, and then maybe another 5 minutes just chat with you guys. So thank you guys, and see you on Twitter, social media, and I'll put the link. I'll put the link to my Silk and Steel podcast in the YouTube description when I load. So bye. Okay, wait.